the beeps of a metal detector, and the push of a shovel. It's an unusual treasure hunt, all in the name of history. While the general facts about the Battle of San Jacinto are clear, the specific details are not. What will they find down below the dirt? And what will it mean? The answers could transform this landscape into a truer depiction of the 1836 Battle of San Jacinto and the ensuing birth of a free Texas.
What our goal is to do, obviously, is to interpret the Battle of 1836 as accurately as possible and to preserve the integrity of the battleground itself. And to do that, reflection pool needs to be removed. The contours of the landscape need to be changed such that they look like in 1836, and the prairie grasses restored to their full vigor.
10 years ago, this entire park was mowed 5 or 6 times a year, and it was beautiful. Looked like a traditional park, looked a lot like a golf course, but it did not look like it did at the time of the battle.
And those native grasses will come right up to the curb.
Oh, right up to the curb.
Right up to the curb, yeah.
We would talk to our visitors and we would realize that they were not able to visualize the descriptions of grass that was belly high on a horse. Sometimes it's described as being waist deep on a man, and they just simply couldn't visualize that and couldn't see the role that the vegetation played in the Battle of San Jacinto.
Seeing actually what it was like then might help them understand the difficulties of the battles and what the elements that the people that were living and fighting at that time really were up against. So it would help, bring history to life.
Right here.
History is coming to life, one pile of dirt at a time. Texas Parks and Wildlife archaeologists,
it's definitely a vertical piece of wood. It might be a fence post.
history buffs armed with metal detectors,
Something in there, I think.
and volunteers
There it is, right on the bottom. Right there. Square nail.
are all working to find out exactly what happened and where
Come on, they fired!
during the furious 18-minute clash on April 21st, 1836.
There are markers placed all over the battleground that interpret various parts of the battle, but they were put there in the late 1880s or early 1890s, about 50 years after the battle occurred. The guys' memories who helped place them there, battle veterans, their memories were fading, the landscape looked different. So we're doing archaeology to help find the exact location of where events occurred during the battle.
Never gone out specifically looking for the battle site and looking for battle-related artifacts. So this is the first time since the battle that they've ever come out and actually tried to do a scientific archaeological study here. And it's going to be a one-time thing. When you do it, it's done. You can go back and redo it, but it'll never be the first one. So this is going to be the classic study of the Battle of San Jacinto, and to be a part of it is pretty thrilling.
What you got?
Musket ball.
All right. Battle related. It's heavy, it's a big one. Probably 68, 70 caliber.
It's just the luck of the swing of the coil on what it goes over, and you get the beep. You could be the one that digs up the greatest relic in the world. You just never know.
It's right in here, Joe. The history just comes natural with me. So coming out here and digging on this battlefield is kind of like a dream for guys like us that are historians and want to be historians. So this is a labor of love. This is the opportunity of a lifetime as far as we're concerned. Oh, what do we got right here, Joe? Oh, we've got a brass belt adjuster.
This 170-year-old rare piece of history is just one of the hundreds of items the archaeologists have cataloged.
It's great, of course, that we found artifacts from the battle, but that's only part of the story. More important is the fact that we have locations of all these different kinds of artifacts, and we can look at their distribution and find out new things about the battle. For example, identification of the musket balls that have been fired helped to tell us how far the battle spread across the landscape of the park.
Back in the 90s, the park restored this coastal marsh. It's now one of the last of these marshes left on the Houston Ship Channel.
All of this grass provides places for these young fish and young animals to hide from predators and to reach a size where then they can then swim out into the rivers, out into the bays in the Gulf of Mexico.
That moss is good.
An area that blocked the escape of Mexican soldiers is now the ultimate outdoor classroom.
I think it's going to really make it a lot more real to them. You know, they see it, they hear it, they smell it, they experience it, and the more senses that a child uses when they're learning, the better they're going to retain it.
The success of the coastal marsh and the efforts of the archaeology work have the San Jacinto Battleground State Historic Site on its way back. Back in time, so the battlefield can tell its own story. The birth of a free Texas deserves nothing less.
One of the things we hope to do is restore that sense of sacredness, hallowed ground, as they did at Gettysburg. The battlefield will be just that, a battlefield where you could go out and immerse yourself in the period of 1836 and what happened here.
San Jacinto is probably the most important site in the Texas Revolution, and future generations of Texans will be able to come here and understand how their state won its independence. And it's all happening because of the archaeology that we're doing here.